Seth again here with the next generation tiny house project, and I have a video today for you that has absolutely nothing to do with tiny houses. I've got these bags here that they're dog food bags. These aren't just your typical kind of like weird paper bag that are lined. These are pretty like durable stuff, and the plan has been to make backpacks out of these things. What I needed to figure out was the straps, and so I got on the internet and I found a couple of videos of Plarn, but I didn't see anybody doing really what I did. So you just kind of take a bag, try to straighten it out like this, and then you don't necessarily have to do this, but it's easier to get it in strips. So, and then you just fold it in half. You're left with basically just something like this. Just a piece of plastic. Feel free, so go ahead and just cut the handles off, because we're not going to use this. And then you go and you just cut these things into strips. Okay, so I've got my strips now. I've got 3 different colors. I've got green, tan, and white. And I just started trying to figure out, okay, how can I make these things structural? Because when they do Plarn, it's just kind of decorative and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, well, I researched how to make rope and this type of stuff, but I was like, you know, let's just try braiding these things. Well, I didn't know how to braid, so I had to get on the internet and figure that out as well. But it's really easy, as I'm sure most of you know, and I'll kind of just show you what I do with this. So there's probably a much better way of fastening these things, but I just hook it onto a pen like this, and then I clamp the pen in a drawer. So once you figure out how you're gonna hold the ends, you just kind of start in on it, and once you get good at this, I mean, it goes pretty quick. I've never done this. I hadn't ever done this before, and it took me about 5 or 10 minutes till I got into a groove, and I still mess up. Just keep going till you're done. It's best to try to keep even kind of pressure on everything as you're going. That way your braids stay the same. That's it. Just keep going. That's gonna do it. So just make sure that this is seated pretty nice. Go ahead and trim the tail off. That's basically all you gotta do. Nice thing with this, if you got it a little too small, you can always stretch it. This part can be a bit of a trick depending on how tight of a fit this is. Yeah! There it is. If you've seen any Plarn videos, generally you want something longer than what you just get out of these one bags. So I'll kind of show you. I gotta scoot back here a little bit though, and kind of show you. Oops, camera's moving. My microphone's pulling it. This is how a lot of people will tell you how to do this. You take one, so you're like this, and then you come back on yourself again. Yeah, that'll work, but you've added an extra loop to this thing, and it might not seem like a lot, but that's a third more material than you could have. This is the way I suggest doing this, and this I learned from fly fishing. So you're gonna come over the top like you did before, but instead of looping these two together, so you've come over the top, reach through this one that you just went over. So you just went over it, reach through here, and grab this one. You have no knots. You've just interlocked the two. And so this comes down to a very small, pretty seamless point if you get it seated right. And this helps when you're weaving these things not to have such a large knot to come through. If you can see, that's pretty small. Also, I would recommend, if you plan on doing more than one, stagger these, because you don't want to have all of your knots wind up the same time. You're going to have at the same intersection or cross whatever braid. So try to stagger them. So that's it. As you can see, this is what it makes. It took me like 10 minutes. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never braided anything until I decided to do this. This is strong. I mean, it's strong. Okay, here. This is like, I mean, that's a pretty good pull. And yeah, it's stretching, but whatever. I challenge somebody, show me what you can do. Do something cooler. Take this, make it better, expand upon it. Use bottle caps or something for jewelry, buttons, old buttons, melt down plastic, rocks. I mean, I'm no jewelry guy. I don't wear anything. But I wanted to show people this because I thought it would be kind of a cheap, free way to do this stuff with your kids. Just reuse this stuff, or, you know, make billions of dollars. I'm not gonna make my billions of dollars on my plastic jewelry. I'm gonna make it on YouTube. Okay, so there you go, guys. That's all I really wanted to show you is, one, a better way to connect your Plarn without massive knots. Two, there's so much stuff laying around that you can reuse for something that it's not necessarily intended for, but who cares? So take this, expand upon it, if you will. I know there's a bunch of other braids and weaves and stuff like that. I'm not going to look into that. It's not really my thing. I will still be trying to figure out this bag situation. If you guys have any idea how I can combine this idea with this idea of making my backpacks, please let me know, or just do it yourself. I'm not trying to do this for monetary value gains or anything like that. I just want to show people, like, hey, if you think outside of the box a little bit, you can do some really cool stuff. And how many of these do we have just laying around? If you would like, please subscribe. I don't know why I'm pointing. They move the thing everywhere. Thanks again, guys. Seth with Next Generation Tiny House Project, and we will see you next time.